Have you ever sensed it? That unmistakable knowing deep within your spirit? Not just a feeling, but a divine recognition that your life carries a purpose beyond ordinary understanding. You've felt different since childhood, set apart, not quite fitting in with those around you. While others seem content with surface-level existence, something in you has always hungered for deeper spiritual truths. This message is finding you at this exact moment because God is confirming what your spirit has known all along. You carry a divine pattern that others simply don't possess. If you're one of the chosen vessels God is raising up in this hour, subscribe to this channel right now and activate notifications. This isn't just another spiritual channel. This is divine alignment with the messages heaven is releasing specifically for those carrying a sacred calling. Subscribe now before continuing. What you're about to receive will transform your understanding of your divine purpose. Throughout history, God selected specific vessels to carry extraordinary purpose. Noah stood righteous when the entire world turned away. Moses confronted pharaohs and parted seas. David, a shepherd boy, became the standard for kingship. Esther saved her people from annihilation. Paul transformed from persecutor to apostle. And yes, Jesus, the ultimate chosen one, whose life created the divine blueprint for all who would follow. Let me be clear, no believer will ever match the divinity or perfection of Christ. But the Father's word reveals we are being conformed to the image of His Son. We are called to embody aspects of His nature in a world desperate to witness authentic representation of heaven. And for you watching right now, yes, you, that calling carries a weight and intensity that leaves you feeling misunderstood, isolated, even questioned by those closest to you. In the realm of the Spirit, your presence disrupts darkness. Your prayers shake demonic strongholds. Your very existence threatens the enemy's agenda for your family, community, and generation. That's why you've faced unexplainable resistance. That's why relationships mysteriously dissolve when you begin stepping into purpose. That's why your mind gets flooded with doubt precisely when divine doors begin opening. The opposition isn't random, it's targeted. The warfare intensifies because what God has placed within you terrifies darkness. The enemy sees the Moses-level authority, the David-level courage, the Esther-level influence being formed in you. You carry a divine pattern that marks you as different. Not for status or recognition, but for kingdom impact that will echo into eternity. If this message resonates in your spirit right now, type "chosen" in the comments below. This simple act of acknowledgement breaks spiritual resistance and aligns your heart with heaven's purpose for your life. What you're about to discover in these next moments will forever change how you understand your struggles, your supernatural experiences, and the peculiar path God has marked out specifically for you. The signs have always been there, those prophetic dreams that felt too real to dismiss, the supernatural knowing about situations before they unfold, the instant recognition of truth versus deception that others can't seem to discern. These aren't coincidences or psychological anomalies. They're divine indicators of your chosen status. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share next reveals why your greatest battles have actually been preparing you for your most significant breakthroughs. The awakening often begins in childhood, subtle whispers of your divine design that manifest before you have words to explain them. Remember those moments when you could sense things in the spiritual realm others couldn't perceive? The dreams that seemed prophetic, revealing future events with stunning accuracy. The natural pull toward prayer and communion with God, while your peers pursued worldly distractions. These weren't random occurrences. They were divine fingerprints, evidence of heavenly selection. Before you were formed in your mother's womb, He knew you. Before you drew your first breath, He set you apart. Before you could speak His name, He called you into a purpose that would shake nations and generations. Jesus, the perfect embodiment of divine purpose, demonstrated this pattern. Even at 12 years old, He astonished religious leaders with spiritual wisdom beyond His years. He maintained perfect communion with the Father. He moved with authority in every realm: physical, spiritual, emotional, intellectual. While He is divine in ways we can never be, He left us this sacred pattern to follow. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey when the veil is pulled back. Suddenly, you realize that what you considered strange about yourself is actually sacred. What others called too much or too intense is actually divine passion forged by heaven itself. That moment of awakening brings both liberation and weight. The liberation of finally understanding why you've always felt different, the weight of recognizing the immense calling now revealed. You begin noticing divine alignments, too precise to be coincidental. Prophetic words spoken over your life start manifesting. Strangers mysteriously discern your calling without being told. Doors open that should remain closed to someone of your background or experience. The evidence mounts until you can no longer deny it. You carry a divine pattern that cannot be explained through natural means alone. But with this revelation comes a sobering truth many aren't prepared to face. The greater the glory destined for your life, the more strategic and severe the opposition. The enemy doesn't deploy his strongest weapons against ordinary vessels. He reserves them for those who threaten his kingdom. And that's exactly what you're about to discover next. Even the most faithful chosen vessels eventually enter this season, a period of such intense spiritual darkness that it defies description. A time when heaven seems silent and God's promises feel like distant memories. I experienced this personally. After years of clear, divine direction, supernatural provision, and unmistakable spiritual confirmations, everything changed without warning. Mentors, who once championed my calling, suddenly distanced themselves. Financial resources that had flowed freely abruptly ceased. My physical strength diminished, leaving me barely able to function. Worst of all, the voice of God, once so clear and constant, became imperceptible. The prayer room that had been my sanctuary became a chamber of questions without answers. The presence I had basked in for years seemed to evaporate completely. I remember collapsing on my knees one night, tears streaming uncontrollably, crying out, "Father, where are you? Did I misunderstand everything? Was I never actually chosen? Was it all self-deception?" The silence that followed was deafening. Many chosen ones abandon their posts during this season. They interpret divine silence as divine rejection. They mistake heavenly processing for heavenly punishment. They surrender their birthright because the pain of uncertainty becomes too overwhelming. But in my moment of complete surrender, when I had nothing left to offer but broken worship, I heard His whisper, so faint yet undeniable. "This is not punishment, beloved. This is preparation. I haven't removed my promise. I'm removing everything that would prevent you from carrying it properly." In that moment, I understood what every chosen vessel must eventually learn. God isn't cruel in His silence. He's strategic in His shaping. The dark night isn't punishment for your failures. It's preparation for your future. If you're watching this in your season of darkness, drop a heart in the comments right now. Let this simple act be your declaration that though you can't see Him, you still believe He sees you. Your acknowledgement breaks power from the accuser whispering that you've been abandoned. This pattern of divine processing isn't unique to you. It's woven throughout Scripture in the lives of every chosen vessel God elevated to extraordinary purpose. This pattern of divine processing isn't random, it's strategic. Throughout Scripture, we see God consistently preparing His chosen vessels through seasons that appear destructive but are actually developmental. Consider Joseph, the dreamer, with divine destiny. His journey to Egyptian leadership required the pit of betrayal and the prison of false accusation. What appeared as abandonment was actually appointment. What looked like divine neglect was divine architecture. Would Joseph have developed the humility, wisdom, and forgiveness necessary to save nations had he remained in his father's house, celebrated but untested? David, anointed king, as a youth spent years fleeing as a fugitive before claiming his throne. Those wilderness years weren't punishment, they were preparation. In caves and deserts, God forged royal character that palatial comfort could never produce. The Goliaths in your path aren't blocking your destiny, they're building your testimony. Esther underwent 12 months of purification before approaching the king. What seemed like unnecessary delay was essential preparation. God was positioning her externally while perfecting her internally. Even Jesus, sinless and divine, required 40 days of wilderness testing before launching his public ministry. If the perfect Son needed seasons of intensive preparation, how much more do we? What season of preparation are you currently experiencing? Comment below with pit, prison, wilderness, or palace to identify your current phase. Your acknowledgement creates spiritual clarity and connects you with others walking similar paths. These biblical patterns reveal profound truth. Your trials aren't random, they're relevant. Your delays aren't divine punishment, they're divine positioning. Every betrayal develops discernment. Every rejection refines resilience. Every season of obscurity deepens your dependence on God rather than human approval. The divine pattern always involves process, because genuine transformation requires depth, not just distance. God isn't merely interested in moving you from point A to point B. He's concerned with who you become along the journey. Character development precedes kingdom deployment. But how can you know with certainty that your experiences reflect genuine divine selection rather than wishful thinking? What distinguishes authentic chosen ones from those simply desiring platform without process? The answer lies in 5 unmistakable confirmation signs that manifest in every genuine vessel carrying a divine pattern. The counterfeit always exists alongside the authentic. In this season of heightened spiritual awareness, many claim the mantle of chosen while seeking only the glory without embracing the gravity of such calling. How can you discern if you truly carry a divine pattern? 5 confirmation signs manifest in every genuine vessel selected for extraordinary purpose. First, unusual humility amid spiritual gifting. Authentic chosen ones don't grasp at position, they surrender to purpose. Like Jesus, who washed disciples' feet while fully aware of his deity, true vessels diminish so Christ can increase. Their desire isn't recognition, but representation of heaven's heart. Do you find yourself resisting self-promotion even when opportunities arise? This counterintuitive humility confirms divine selection. Second, supernatural confirmation beyond explanation. Divine appointments that defy statistical probability. Dreams revealing information impossible to know naturally. Prophecies from strangers that align perfectly with your private prayers. God confirms his chosen ones through multiple witnesses, not single incidents that could be dismissed as coincidence. Third, uncommon opposition from darkness. The enemy doesn't waste resources attacking insignificant targets. When warfare intensifies, precisely as you step toward purpose, when resistance emerges from unexpected sources, recognize it as dark confirmation of your light assignment. Fourth, supernatural resilience when others surrender. When circumstances would logically break you, something inexplicable strengthens you. While others facing similar trials collapse, you continue not through personal strength, but divine enablement. This isn't stubbornness. It's supernatural endurance sourced in heaven's selection. Fifth, and most crucial, a servant's heart that persists regardless of recognition. Jesus, creator of all, became servant of all. True chosen ones serve without acknowledgement, knowing heavenly authority flows through earthly humility. Right now, some watching recognize these signs and feel both validated and terrified. Others realize they've pursued chosen status without chosen character. Wherever you stand, God meets you with grace, either confirming your calling or correcting your course. But what about those standing at the crossroads, those facing the most pivotal decision of their spiritual journey? What about you, who feel suspended between abandonment and advancement? That's exactly what we must address next. Let me speak directly to those standing at the divine crossroads right now. You know who you are wavering between pressing forward and walking away entirely. The resistance has never been more fierce. The warfare has never felt more personal. The confusion has never been more disorienting. Friends who promised to stand with you have vanished. Mentors who guided you now question your direction. Financial doors remain sealed despite repeated promises of provision. And in your most vulnerable moments, your mind floods with questions. Did I misinterpret God's voice? Was this journey self-created delusion? Is the cost simply too high? Hear this divine truth. The moment of greatest doubt often directly precedes the moment of greatest deliverance. Even Jesus, is perfect in every way, cried out from the cross, "My God, why have you forsaken me?" This wasn't failure of faith, but the final test before resurrection power manifested. The enemy wouldn't fight so relentlessly if what God placed within you didn't terrify him. Darkness wouldn't mobilize such opposition if your light didn't threaten his territory. This crossroads isn't evidence of divine abandonment, it's confirmation of imminent breakthrough. The most crucial decision you'll make isn't at the beginning of your journey, but in this middle moment, when everything within and around you screams to surrender your divine assignment. Stand firm. Heaven is watching. Your breakthrough approaches. But you cannot navigate this season with yesterday's strategies. You need advanced weapons designed specifically for chosen ones facing chosen battles. Conventional warfare tactics fail against unconventional spiritual opposition. Chosen ones require advanced weapons designed specifically for elevated battles. I'm about to share 5 divine strategies that dismantle sophisticated attacks targeting your divine pattern. These aren't theory, they're tested through centuries of spiritual warfare by those carrying kingdom purpose. First, radical identity alignment. The enemy attacks who you are before attacking what you do. Daily realign your identity with heaven's declaration, not hell's accusation. Declare, "I am who God says I am," regardless of current circumstances or emotions. This isn't positive thinking, it's prophetic positioning in spiritual reality above temporal visibility. Second, strategic isolation. Jesus frequently withdrew to connect with the Father. Create sacred space where divine downloads occur without interference. In genuine solitude, heaven's frequency clarifies while demonic static diminishes. Your calling requires communion beyond congregational experience. Third, prophecy activation. Words create worlds. Regularly declare God's promises over your life, not as future possibilities, but present realities being manifested. Your declarations either reinforce darkness or release light. Speak heaven's perspective until your atmosphere shifts to align with it. Fourth, community cultivation. Surround yourself with those who recognize and nurture your divine pattern without jealousy or control. Not everyone deserves access to your process or purpose. David had Jonathan while facing Saul. Jesus had inner circles within inner circles. Strategic relationships provide cover during targeted warfare. Fifth, spiritual intelligence gathering. Discern the specific tactics deployed against your unique calling. The enemy isn't creative. He recycles strategies that worked previously. Study the warfare patterns. Identify trigger points. Develop counter-strategies that transform attacks into advantages. These weapons aren't optional for those carrying divine patterns. They're essential for surviving seasons when everything visible contradicts everything promised. And now, I feel divine urgency to deliver a specific prophetic word for someone watching. I feel the Holy Spirit highlighting someone watching right now. You've been experiencing intense confusion unlike anything you've encountered before. Thoughts that don't align with your faith. Mental fog that prevents clear direction. Decision paralysis that keeps you immobilized. This isn't evidence that God has abandoned His plan for you. It's evidence that your divine pattern is disrupting demonic assignments against your generation. The enemy creates greatest confusion over territories carrying greatest revelation. The fog of war always concentrates above strategic battlegrounds. Your mind is under attack because your message threatens established darkness. The breakthrough you're contending for isn't just for you, it's for countless others who will follow your path. The divine pattern you carry isn't meant for your elevation. It's designed as a pathway others will traverse toward their own deliverance. What you overcome becomes what you oversee. The territory of your greatest battle becomes the territory of your greatest authority. Your time is now. Heaven is releasing fresh strategies and divine insight. The confusion is lifting. Clarity is dawning. The divine pattern is emerging with unprecedented definition. So, rise up, chosen one. Not in pride that seeks adoration, but in purpose that seeks transformation. Not craving worship, but willing to war. Not demanding platform, but demonstrating power. Like Jesus, embrace both the cross and crown, understanding that divine glory follows divine surrender. Like Jesus, align with the Father's timeline, not cultural expectation. Like Jesus, make obedience your highest pursuit, even when the path leads through Gethsemane moments. And know this with unshakable certainty. When the preparation feels unbearable, when the process seems endless, when your divine pattern appears to be unraveling, He remains with you. The original chosen one walks beside you. His Spirit dwells within you. His purpose will be accomplished through you. I release fresh courage over you now. May spiritual eyes open to see your divine pattern with renewed clarity. May spiritual ears become attuned to heaven's frequency, even amid earthly chaos. May spiritual hands strengthen to build what He has commissioned you to create. The world doesn't need another celebrity Christian seeking followers. It needs chosen vessels who, like Jesus, will pay any price to bring heaven to earth. You are among them, and your time is now. If this message confirmed your calling and awakened something within you, subscribe to this channel right now and activate notifications. This isn't casual spiritual content, it's divine transmission specifically for those carrying kingdom purpose in this critical hour. Your next step in this divine journey awaits. Heaven is watching your response,